hump day, everybody. Y'all doing good? Sorry, I just woke up from a nap. I had to kind of rush to put everything together because I overslept, so... How is everyone? Hey, Frosty. You and your stupid Discord logo meme. All right. Yeah. Zombie? No, not yet. Not yet. Give me a minute. Give me a minute to just like gather my energy. To suck all the energy away from all of you. I am Dracula. Hold on. Sorry, a family member just walked in. Oh boy. Did the icon work? Truth be told, I haven't had the time to test it yet. I was like commenting everything in the middle of work, and then some projects came up, so I had to take care of those first, but I'm gonna probably try it after stream, so we'll see how it goes. From what I saw, it looked like you set it up correctly, so it should be interesting. Alright. Full energy mode. Let's go. Okay. And music. Music. Okay. We are alive. Mostly alive. Hey, Levitti. Hello. Oh my god, Livitti's reaction when I showed her Frosty's meme was great. And I'm not talking about the Discord one, I'm talking about the 5 guys, 1 person on the couch one. It was beautiful. That reminds me, I need to set up... I need to make sure the throwing system has audio. Let's see. Did y'all hear that? I hope so. Also, if you didn't notice, there is a new chat command in the names. Hold up. This is for all of you to play around with. I hereby unleash the chaos. Go to town. And it's, yep. This is already going exactly as expected. Oh god, where did I go? Did one of you destroy me? Okay, there I am. Oh my goodness. I'm actually kind of dizzy. Exclamation mark CUM is not a command. Exclamation mark CUM is not a command. Oh, thank you. So yeah. Now you all can have those commands to just mess around with as you like. I'm not sure why bonk isn't working. Hold up. How do I tilt back? Hold on. Let me tilt back. Bonk. I'm not sure why. I'm honestly not sure why bonk is not working. But it's fine. Head pats works. Can someone spin me back upright, please? Anybody? Anybody? Unleashing this may have been a mistake. Unleashing this may have been a mistake. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go again. Hi chat. I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you're all happy, loving this. Am I just laying here permanently? Okay, nope. Here we go. That's my Hi, avert your eyes, children. Avert your eyes. Avert your eyes. This is nothing to stare upon. Woo! Are we gonna stay here? Like, are we just here permanently now? All right, I guess we'll just do the rest of stream like this. Just you staring directly into. Well, this is not much better. This is not much better. The situation could be better. It probably could be a lot better, but clearly it is not right now. Help. 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 Shrink me. Shrink me right now. Get me small. Oi! Oh, one of you hit the tiny. Oh, that's why. Hi. Hi, chat. Hello. Can you see me? Are you all doing well? Hi, look. I can jump on the clouds now. Ooh. It's pretty high up here. Away! I think I can climb up. Ah! Okay, you good? You done? All right, cool. All right, hey chat, how are you? How are you, chat? Y'all doing good? All being nice? All being cozy? But look, I'm on top of the emote. Wait. Where's the tentacle? Go into the points. You'll be able to throw the tentacle at me. I actually don't know what the tentacle will do when I'm this small. It probably will just aim at wherever I was last. What? Okay, cool. We're a little bit bigger. Progressing. Tiny fidget spinner. I mean, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong at all. What? You know, at some point I'm gonna start puking, alright? Too many spins. I don't get motion sick, but this will do things to anybody. What? Okay. We're bigger. Progress. Alright, little bigger. Get me a little bigger. Come on. Little big. We're getting closer. Getting closer. Good. A little closer, please. A little more. A little bigger, please. Perfect. A little big. You brought this upon yourselves. This is not my fault. I would just like to point out that this is not absolutely my fault. This is absolutely yours. Well. Did you break it? It's no longer getting smaller. Did you break it? Whee! Okay. Alrighty. Now that we've all had some fun. Really? Was this necessary? Guys? Hello? We appear to have an issue. This is a bad idea. This was a very, very bad... Okay, cool. I guess I'm just laying down now. At this rate, we'll be lucky to have a stream at all. So chat, how's your day today? I'm just relaxing. Today. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm basically a pointer now. Hold up, hold up. Hey, hey, look, look, look at this cool guy, and this cool person, and this cool person, and this cool person, and this sut, and this cool person, and that cool person, and that cool person. Huh. All right, well, what do you want to do with me now, huh? Huh? I can climb the rainbow if you like. Taste all the flavors of the rainbow. Oop, here's a star here. Jump to here. Jump up to here. Doot, doot, doot. Doot, 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 doot. Oh my god, it really is a pointer now. Hey. 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 Alright. We're at the top. Point at you. Ta-da! I'm pointing at you. Look. I can't click you though, but I can point at you. Pah! 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 Look at that! Look at that pants grab! Alright, can someone put me back to normal size, please? Please? I'm begging you. Anybody? This is not what I requested. You know, somebody's going to come into stream and they're gonna have a lot of questions. Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, perfect, perfect. Let me just get myself back to regular streaming size. Alrighty. And yes, there is a reset, so, because otherwise you all would go crazy. But, so, now that we've gotten all of that out of your system, now that we've gotten that spicy... Now that we've gotten that spicy bit of entertainment out of your heads, because I wanted to make sure that was fully out of the way. Now, do you want to talk about D&D magical items, or do you want to play around some more? Let me see if I can actually figure out why the head pat system isn't working. Avert your eyes. I mean, the head pat works, but not the bonk, and I wonder why. It's because I didn't set it up correctly. So, okay, so there, that's what the bonk looks like. The only problem is I don't know if it's gonna work. Does it keep going? Oh shoot, it keeps going. Hold on, hold on. No? Oh, there we go. Stops after 5 seconds. Okay, cool. There, bonky. Bonkies. And then it goes away. And then ideally, when I hit the bonk button... Alright, bonking does not work. If you decide to hit it, I will allow you to do it. Bonk. 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 The boob command? You've seen the boob command. Hold up. Hold up. You've seen the boob command. Whee! Whee! That's the boob command. But only I get to hold that power, okay? That is a power that Levity has granted to me and only I get to use it. Capiche? So yeah, there you go. You can have the bonks. Yeah, so the issue that I've noticed is that when I'm switching between models, sometimes the head pat and bonk commands break, and I think it's because those are the only custom commands. Everything else is kind of like included in the thing that I'm using. So because of that, sometimes they don't work very well. I'm trying to figure out a system on how to make them transfer easily, but we'll have to see how that works. Okay? So for now, I'll do my best to trigger it manually whenever you need it. Like here, head pats. And then boing, 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 boing. Okay, cool. All right, y'all ready to start the presentation? Let's talk about D&D. D&D. D&D, these nuts. I didn't say anything. Okay. Ooh, wait, too big, too big, too big, too big. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. So, just like last time, we'll be talking as if you know nothing about D&D at all. So hopefully this should be easy to follow. So in the world of D&D, it's high fantasy. You have monsters, you have goblins, you have goblin D's nuts, you have orcs. I cannot stop with the D's nuts jokes. Oh my god. But what is interesting is because of the wealth of magic and technology that's possible within D&D, you actually have a lot of really, really cool magical items. So, first off, you have basic ones like the Cleansing Stone, which is extremely basic. It's a stone about a sphere 1 foot in diameter, engraved with mystic sigils. When touching the stone, you can use an action, which basically means you use 5 seconds, 3 seconds, to activate it and remove all dirt and grime from your person. Now, here's the thing, right? If you were a huge, stupendous adventurer who wields mighty magics and swords, you can probably pay for your cleaning. But as an ordinary person in the world, the ability to instantly remove all dirt and grime from your clothes sounds amazing. You got splashed by a dirty puddle? No problem. Cleansing Stone. You stepped in some dog shit? No problem. Cleansing Stone. It's amazing. And in answer to your question, Hugh, you can use this an infinite number of times. There is no cooldown. There is no limited number of times. There's no charges. So you can just use this whenever you want. You can use it on your mind. So technically speaking, we have not yet invented brain bleach. So no, hypothetically, you cannot use this on your brain. But I'm sure if a DM was very, very, very kind to you, maybe you could invent some brain bleach. Because God knows we're going to need some after our time on the internet. We all know this to be true. So, Cleansing Stone, a very useful item, and to be perfectly honest, I want one. Imagine never having to do laundry again. Just boom, Cleansing Stone. My clothes are clean. Go to the gym. Cleansing Stone. You know what's even more amazing about this? I think this would be perfect for COVID because then you just go, Cleansing Stone, I'm sanitized. Actually, it does say dirt and grime. I don't know if that applies to bacteria. So who knows? That might be up to your DM if it actually cleanses bacteria. Okay, so next up. This one's interesting. The pipes of the sewers. Have you, for some random reason, ever wanted to become the Piper of Hamelin? You remember that little legend of how this town was plagued by rats, and then this random musician comes by, plays a couple of notes, all the rats follow him out and drown in the river. That is what this is. Sounds accurate since my aunt brought some rocks saying it was cleansing stones. Well, if I got COVID? Yeah. Not gonna lie, that sounds like someone tried to scam your aunt with D&D. But yeah, so what you do with these is, these pipes can be used essentially 3 times. You use a very quick moment to essentially expend a charge to call a swarm of rats to you. Which, if you aren't aware, in D&D, a swarm of rats counts as 1 target, but it's literally like a gigantic swarm of probably around 10 to 15 rats. The thing is, the rats have to be in the area. You can't just like materialize rats out of thin air. But anybody who knows anything about rats knows that most cities have rats. Probably most forests have rats. The only place you're probably not going to find rats is, say, in the middle of the ocean or out in the desert. Other than that, rats are very versatile, very hardy, and they tend to show up wherever they need to be. From then on, the swarm of rats, basically every battle round, so every, say, equivalent of 5 to 10 seconds, you are going to be constantly making a charisma check against the swarm's wisdom check. And what that means is, if you lose, they don't do shit. They don't listen to you. They do what they want. And then you also lose the ability to control them for the next 24 hours. But if you win the contest, every round you can cause them to become friendly to you and obey your commands. So, if you really just want to unleash a pack of rats on an enemy that's really just bothering you, you tell them, hey, rats, go eat that stupid asshole. But yeah, that's what the Pipes of the Sewer is. It's a very interesting item that I think, if used correctly, opens up a lot of role play and a lot of potential combat help, because since it counts as a unit, essentially as a friendly unit to you, you can use it to provide distraction so that you can gain advantage on your attacks. You can use it to scout ahead. You can use it to cause a distraction. It's a very versatile item. But the thing is, you have to know how to play it. It's not something like this big muscular man comes up and says, hey, I have no idea how to play the pipes, but I'm going to blow into these and pray that it works. No, that's not how these work. You need to be able to play wind instruments. Can the rats get their own actions? Yes, essentially. So from what I understand, the way this works is you summon the swarm of rats, and then it basically rolls for its own initiative. So they basically they take their own turn within the rest of the combat round. But the thing is, if you fail the check, the swarm no longer has to listen to you, so now it's up to the DM to do whatever they want with it, which means chaos. Lots and lots of chaos. We're about to recreate Ratatouille? Yeah, you can order the rats to cook you some soup, as long as you can maintain control over them for the time it takes them to control the soup. Outside of that, it doesn't say... Here's another thing that's interesting. Because the rats are not summoned, they stick around even after the fight's over, even after you're completely done with them. They stick around. So keep that in mind. When the fight's over, you're going to have to deal with the swarm of rats. So you better be able to keep that control over them to send them far away, or else those rats are going for your rations. Because anybody who knows anything about rats knows that they are bold-ass motherfuckers who do not give a shit about humans. They will do what they want, and if you can catch them, great. But in most cases, you cannot. A little side benefit of these pipes is that ordinary rats and giant rats, which are humongous, giant rats are basically about the size of a small dog, they won't attack you unless you attack them first. That's right. Yeah, Livity, this item would basically be perfect for you. You can have your rats dance and do your chores and whatever, because they'll be happy to help you. Is the stats or duration last longer if you play the pipes great or bad? So I think that's up to your DM, right? Mechanically, the item is very, very specific. But if someone's willing to take penalties for this item, here's how I would rule it. You still need to play it every round, but I would say if you roll, let's say, above a 17 or higher on your roll for, say, performance or charisma, I would argue that that is good enough bounds to give you a little bit of a bonus round. Let's say you'll be able to skip one round without having to constantly blow the pipes. Because remember one thing. Every time you play the pipes, it costs you a bonus action and one of the 3 charges. The pipe will eventually recharge over time, but it takes a while. You can't recharge in the middle of combat. It recharges daily at dawn. So you can burn through these pipes very, very quickly. But I think if I was running this, what I would do is I would say, okay, for your make your charisma check, if you roll above a 17, I think that's grounds enough to say, hey, you got to keep them for an extra round. On the other hand of the matter, if you roll below, let's say you roll below a 10, even if you win the check, I'm arguing that that swarm is going to break free no matter what next round. You'll get them for that one round and that's it. So if you're willing to work with your DM on penalties or ways to modify the magical items, that is a total possibility. Like I said, D&D is only limited by your imagination and how willing the DM is to work with you. Rat slaves? Cancel Avidity. She enslaves rats. Hurry, quickly, cancel her. No. You have to pay them. Technically, according to this, no, you don't. Technically, no, you don't. One other thing you could do is if you know you were traveling to an area without rats, you could literally like use this pipe to summon a bunch of rats to you, put them all like in some kind of container, like a cage or carrying a crate. That way you can just literally open it up and just have like a swarm of rats on command. Of course, again, you still have to be able to maintain control over them, but that's your problem to deal with. Got it? Okay, so Pipes of the Sewers. Cool item. Like I said, make sure to talk it over to their DM if you've got different ideas of how you'd like it to run. Arcane Propulsion Arm. There isn't an image for this. The only thing you need to know about this is that A, you need to be missing a hand or an arm to use this. And it's basically a prosthetic. But it's a prosthetic with a rocket punch. So this image here is just like the standard substitute image for anything mechanical. This is a prosthetic. You get to aim it, you get to fire it, and it does ranged damage. Force damage specifically. It detaches, flies at the target within 20 range and a long range of 60 feet, then immediately returns to you and reattaches. You can basically blitzcrank people. You can't pull them. You can't like pull them. It's only an attack, but you can punch them from afar. I think if I wanted to, what I could argue is you can make a variation of this item where it doesn't do damage. You can reach out and grab things, but they have to be smaller than you because keep in mind, it's still just a prosthetic. It doesn't make you any stronger. So it's not that you can reach out, grab a fully grown adult human and pull them towards you. Your arm simply doesn't have that kind of strength. But if you like shoot it out, grab a small goblin and pull them to you, I think that is a perfectly capable feat done by a regular sized individual. So once again, modification is always possible. So if you want to blitzcrank people, talk to your DM. Moving on. The Wand of Smiles. Okay, so I've actually had this in a campaign. Essentially, you point at a target. It has to be a humanoid. And then they need to succeed on what is a very, very easy save. Like DC 10 is almost nothing. Like you have to roll pretty damn bad. Like we're talking like a 1 or 2 on a D20 to fail this, usually. If it succeeds, the target has to smile for 1 minute. There's no cure. There's nothing. It just forces you to smile for 1 minute. You just go, like this. And you just keep smiling like the Joker. It's basically Joker's laughing gas, but magic. And it has to be within 30 feet. And I've had people take this item and use it on my big bad. Like there's like this big badass sorcerer who's got like all these magical spells. And at the start of the fight, the prankster of my players pulls out the Wand of Smiles, points at him, and says, I cast its ability. My big bad boss had to spend the entire fight, because the entire fight takes about 1 minute. Oh, sorry, like 1 minute is essentially 10 combat rounds. So it's a long time. He had to spend that entire fight grinning like a demon. It was so dumb. Additionally, if you use up the last charge, you have to roll a d20. On a 1, this item transforms into the Wand of Scowls. So it basically flips. Now instead of smiling, you have to frown for 1 minute. And then on its last charge, you have to roll a 1. You have to roll d20. On a 1, it changes again. So it's a very weird item. It's literally made as a joke. And I can't imagine many scenarios where it actually becomes something that saves your life. But I also know that there are a lot of players who will be more than happy to use this item and go like crazy with it until they manage to land it. Because I know people are that trolly. That's just how it is. So real fast, we're actually gonna come back to the weapon of warning. I want to talk about this because this is a fun item, and I want to get it out while everyone is still here. The deck of many things. This is an item that DMs have to be very, very careful about using, because depending on the card you pull from this deck, it could end your game. Like, physically. Like, the game is over because something happened that was so catastrophic, it's unrepairable. So, to preface this, I'm letting you know right now, most DMs will take this deck, modify it, change out some of the really bad cards to stuff that won't completely destroy the campaign. So what this is this is a deck of usually 22 cards. And they're all like tarot cards. So the Sun, Dominion, Jester, Balance, Ruin, stuff like that. When you draw a card, a magical effect occurs. And let me just show you some of the effects because they are bonkers. Balance. Your mind suffers a wrenching alteration, causing your alignment to change. Lawful becomes chaotic, good becomes evil, and vice versa. If you're true, neutral, or unaligned, this card has no effect on you. So, let's say you are the holiest of holy paladins. You go around making people, you heal people, you take care of them, you go around and you fight evil with all of your might. Let's say you pull this card. Your character has now become the most evil of beings. You go around, you slaughter people for the pure pleasure of it. You take down this kingdom because you thought it was what needed to be done. This is a very fucky card because in most cases, like, it sounds cool on paper. Like, this whole, like, your personality does a complete 180. But the reality is, what this card usually does is usually means the death of your character, because it's such a extreme switch in character that it usually destroys whatever backstory, whatever plot lines you and your DM were building with that character. It's just gone. You disappear and become entombed in a state of suspended animation and extra-dimensional spear. That exists. It's funny you mentioned that because that exists. I will get to that. Comment. If you single-handedly defeat the next hostile monster or group of monsters you encounter, you gain experience points enough to gain 1 level. So essentially, if you fight the next battle by yourself, like, that has to be clear. You have to win the next battle by yourself. You gain a level, which sounds great. Okay, cool, you get more powerful. But in reality, there's not that many fights, and there's not that many builds or characters which can take on a entire combat encounter by themselves. Because, yeah, like, if it's a fight that requires your entire party and you're supposed to beat it by yourself, that's usually not going to end well. It helped me if you zoom in a little. Okay, I can zoom in a little bit. Hold on. Whatcha? There, is that better? Let me move it over slightly. Okay. So, the Donjon. You disappear and become entombed in a state of a suspended animation and extra-dimensional spear. This actually isn't as bad as it sounds. Essentially, you get teleported naked, and appear in this space. You just stay in there, and nothing can reveal your location except for a wish spell, which is the most powerful level of spells cast in D&D. And from there, you're just stuck. So if your party's not strong enough to do this, I'm sorry, that character's just dead. There is no way. Because it's literally extra dimensional. It means that you need to be able to traverse planes. Your party needs a way to get to you. So unless the DM is very, very creative on the spot, that character's probably just done. Uriel. The card's Medusa-like visage curses you. You take a -2 penalty on saving throws while cursed in this way. That is big. -2 to any throws is big. -2 to saving throws, which are usually the things that you need to dodge, like fireballs, to dodge like curses, diseases. You don't want those being lowered. That does not go well. The Fates. You can quite literally cast Rewind. You can cause one thing in, essentially, hypothetically, you can use this to completely change one event, or sorry, erase one event that happens somewhere in the campaign. So let's say early on, let's say your father died due to your backstory. You can quite literally use this card to say, I bring my father back. He never died from this, and therefore now fate is rewound. Now it's up to the DM how they choose to interpret that. But yeah, you can quite literally change the course of fate and time. Flames, the powerful devil becomes your enemy. Yeah, this one's just bad. Like, it just adds another enemy to you, and you don't get anything from it. It just means that a devil wants to kill you, and they want to make your life hell. There's no benefit to this card. Fool! You lose 10,000 XP. That's usually enough for a level. At the very least, you draw from the deck again. It doesn't destroy it doesn't remove all your level. All it does is basically bring you down to the minimum XP needed. Now, if you're running a campaign where your DM says you level up by milestones, this isn't such a bad card because you'll level up the rest of your party regardless. If you are leveling up like RPG style where killing enemies gives you XP, this is a really bad card because now you're behind the rest of your party in terms of EXP. Gems. You become rich. It's real simple. You become rich. Idiot. You permanently become dumb. Additionally, you have to draw one more card. So, on top of making you a little bit more stupid, now you have to draw one more card, and who knows what that card's going to do to you. Jester. This is kind of the opposite of Fool. You gain extra XP, or you can choose to draw 2 cards. So just IRL me. Can't divide 0? Yeah, that's fair. No, I straight up have like a dumb character. I think if this card happened to that particular character, I think they might just straight up go comatose because their intelligence is already pretty damn low. Key. A rare or rarer magical weapon which with your proficient appears in your hand. The GM chooses the weapon. This is kind of just like a okay card. It gives you a straight up magical item. That's it. Simple. Knight. This one's funny. This is just hilarious. A 4th level fighter appears in a space you choose within 30 feet. The fighter is of the same race as you and serves you loyally until death. Believing the fates have drawn her or him to you, you control this character. You get an NPC. Straight up, sorry, not NPC. You get an extra PC who's 4th level. If you draw this early on, lovely. You have a new friend. If you draw this later on, that 4th level survivor is not going to fight. He's not going to survive even one fight. Like if you draw this at when you're like level 20, that fighter is dead. He'll be happy to make it out of the basic fight. So it's a very interesting card. If the character scales on IQ, yeah, exactly. So if it's like a wizard or something and they need intelligence to cast their spells, that card will actually make you less effective. It's pretty bad. Moon. You're granted the ability to cast the wish spell. So despite what a lot of people think, the wish spell is not omnipotent. You can't go, I killed the final bad boss. No, there are rules. It's whatever a 9th level spell would be capable of. But it's very flexible, which makes it very powerful. So you can cast this however many times you roll on a d3, which basically means roll a d6, divide by 2. Rogue. This one's weird. Because if you draw this, there's a chance that somebody who is a very, very good friend of yours, like let's say your best NPC friend, just one day decides, hey, I really, really hate you. And they'll do anything in their power to make your life miserable, and they will try to kill you. So it's basically like the kindly old grandpa who brought you soup every day, took care of you since you were a kid, one day wants nothing more than to slit your throat. It's a pretty mean one. This one's a little bit mean. Ruin. You become poor. Except for magical items, everything disappears. Everything disappears. You lose all business, you lose all buildings, you lose all land you own. Any documentation you have that proves that you should own some part of the land vanishes. So you literally become destitute, and all you have now is magical items, which they're great, but not having any money is a really, really bad sign. Skull. You summon an avatar of death. Quite literally, an avatar of death appears in front of you, and you now have to fight him. And the thing is, per its name, if the avatar of death kills you, you're dead. Ta-da! There is no restoring you. Like, that character is dead. The thing is, the avatar of death is actually not hard to kill. He just has a really, really high AC, but his health is really low because it's half of yours. So you could hypothetically fight this and kill it. It's not unthinkable. But if you lose, dead. What if you killed the avatar of death that's a necromancer? It doesn't matter. Avatar of death just kills you and you're gone. And the avatar of death, when it dies, just disappears. So you don't even get nothing from this. You have to jump into a fight. You have to beat the fight or you die. And if anybody assists you, it summons a duplicate avatar of death, and your friend has to fight that one. No, as far as I'm aware, yeah, 0 EXP. You see this here? 0 XP. You get nothing from this fight. This fight is literally just you pulled the wrong card, get fucked. Star. Increase one of your ability scores by 2. So basically, add a +1 to one of your ability scores, which is great. That's amazing. Yeah, it's a waste of mana and stamina. Yeah, exactly. It's essentially a card that says, you didn't learn that there are consequences to your actions. You pulled a card from a random deck and thought you'd get away with it. Here's your penalty. Sun. You gain XP and a wondrous item, which is a magical item that is usually pretty damn rare. Talons. Every magical item you wear or carry disintegrates. If they're artifact rarity, which is like the highest rarity, they aren't destroyed, but they do disappear. So if you're like, let's say you're like really late game, you got this giant arsenal of magical weapons that you spent your entire adventuring life gathering and wielding. All of that vanishes. Gone. Disintegrated to dust. This is a very mean item. Very, very mean. Throne. You gain proficiency in the persuasion skill, and you double any proficiency bonuses. So basically, you become super proficient. I mean, super persuasive. You talk to someone, they will do what you ask. They will do whatever you want. And randomly, you're granted ownership of what essentially is a small castle. But the small castle has monsters, you need to clear it out, and then you can claim it as yours. But hey, now you get a small base. Vizier. At any time you choose within 1 year of drawing this card, you can ask a question in meditation and mentally receive a truthful answer to that question. Basically, what this card lets you do, you get to ask the DM a question. And they have to answer. Any question. Any question. They can get around the answer somehow, but they do have to answer the question. This card is weird, and not a lot of people like it because it can really break certain games. Any question, like per the rules, like just per the pure mechanical rules of this card, the DM has to answer your question. Obviously, DMs don't like that because you can just ask, hey, this big bad that we've been getting hunted by, what's his name? And then you have to reveal that, oh, it's actually the king that you guys have been working with and he's trying to betray you. Like, it ruins, it essentially, it can ruin its entire plot lines and the entire campaign based on the question that the players ask. So a lot of people, this is usually the main card that a lot of people just change out completely because it's such a game-breaking question. It's literally like, the entire time you're being told in D&D, don't metagame, or if you're going to metagame, at least do it in a positive way. This is like the antithesis to that completely. However, it can open a new path. That is true. I'm not going to say that it's like, obviously, it's not like a negative card. There are pro points to it. It can create a new story. It can create something. It can create an alternate pathway, a new way of resolving a puzzle or getting around a hard situation. But in general, I don't really like this kind of mechanic because I can't predict what the players are going to ask. And even if it's like the most innocent type of question, they're not trying to break the game, like they're just trying to gain some information. Based on what I have to reveal, that could ruin a lot of different plot points. It would have been more interesting to discover organically. So Vizier's a bit of a weird card, and it's usually the one that I've seen a lot of DMs take out first. Also, Sam, hello. It's been a while, hasn't it? The Void. This is probably the worst card you can pull out of the deck of many things. The Void. What this does is you pull this card, your soul is instantly drawn from your body and placed in a container of the GM's choice. One or more powerful beings guard the place. In other words, beings that are like a serious combat fight. And while this happens, your body's incapacitated. You can't do shit. You can't do anything. Nothing will help you. Even wishes don't help you. Yeah, you basically get trapped in the Kum jar. You get trapped in the Kum jar, and now there's like this like big ugly otaku guarding the Kum jar. The wish spell, the most powerful thing in the game, can't restore your soul. It cannot heal you. But it can reveal where your soul is. The thing is, the location is completely up to the GM. If they want to be mean, they can put it wherever they want. They can put it at the bottom of the 9 hells. You need to fight your way all the way through the 9 hells just to get that body back. So this card is also technically a character ender, because in most cases, unless you're like very, very high powered, you're probably not getting that soul back. Unless the DM's very nice. Unless the DM's very, very nice and you have to just go through a boss fight to get it back. I want to say goodnight, and I hear a big otaku protecting the Kum jar. Yeah! Nice timing there, Ward. All right. Good night. Not a fox girl. Fox boy. Cat boy? Fox boy. Cat boy. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's the deck of many things. And like I said, it's usually an item that gets heavily modified by DMs because so many of the cards are just negative. I'm like, for me personally, I feel that if you are pulling from this randomized deck, there should be an equal amount of negative and positive things, right? That makes sense to you. You're basically rolling Russian roulette and praying that's something good. Fox Cat Girl? No. No. But in all honesty, a lot of these cards, there's more negative sides than there are positive sides. So whenever I run this, and I run this 3 times in different campaigns, whenever I run this this item, I always like use a modified list that I've created. Why girl? Because Ward is horny. Because Ward is horny and he wants to stick his thing in many things. So he calls everything a fox/cat girl. I can't do anything about it. That's just Ward. Yeah. I really have no solutions there. Bye, Ward. But yeah, if done properly, it is a very fun item. But I definitely advise that you go through and revise it. Make sure that it's not as punishing before you utilize it. There's also versions where it's like a very toned down version. It just gives you money or items rather than like putting in these like ability changes and these stat changes. But well, let me put it this way. You go on Google, you search up modified deck of many things, it will appear. Where there's a hole, there's a goal. I'm gonna take a pee break. Taking a pee break. Go away, all of you sussy people. Go away. Taking a pee break. Sorry. Had to. Whoop. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I broke. No. The restroom break broke me. Help. Hold on. Rebooting. There we go. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I had to answer a call as well. Okay. So. Deck of many things. Fun. Use it well. Use it very smartly, because if you don't, things are going to go very badly. Moving on. Weapon of Warning. This one's weird. This one's very, very weird. Essentially, it can be any item. Any item. And what it does is that whenever something moves within 30 feet of you and you're trying to like take a rest, you're sleeping, this item basically makes sure you can never be surprised. Now, what a lot of people interpret this as is the weapon flashes, like remember in The Hobbit how Sting and Glamdring glow blue whenever there's orcs around? Think that. It gives a warning sign. The way I interpret it is the weapon screams at you, "Hey! Hey! You're under attack! You're under attack!" Because why not? I want to have some fun with this. And the best part of it is, this weapon can be sentient, so it can think. So, when let's say you're sleeping, you're having a very nice nap, and then this thing starts speaking in your head, "Hey, hey, 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 someone's getting close, someone's getting close, someone's getting close, get up, get up, get up, get up." Yeah, sure, it's helpful. It's also damn annoying. Basically, I like fucking around with my players, and this is one way to fuck around with them while also giving them a very useful item, because the ability to not be surprised is very good. Imagine that no matter what, you'll never ever get hit by a sneak attack, which is great, which is amazing. The thing is, the item also comes with another bonus. Whenever you roll initiative for a fight, you get advantage. Because the weapon's always like, "Guys, a fight is starting, a fight is starting, a fight is starting." And then you get, "Oh yeah, okay, cool, so I already know about the fight." But I always find it kind of funny that, in my interpretation, this weapon's just basically just screaming in your head, "Get ready to fight, get ready to fight, get ready to fight." It just seems very amusing. Yeah, funny you say that, Frosty. There was someone online, I think it's Puffin Forest is the YouTuber's name. He made a video about a flawed weapon of warning. So what it would do is every morning it would go, "Something bad might be happening today." And then when you like stub your toe or you drop your gold, it'll go like, "I warned you." And it would just do that. So you basically, because it would be warning you of danger, yeah, but it wouldn't tell you when, it wouldn't tell you where. And then whenever something bad happened, it just go like, "Oh yeah, that's the thing I was warning you about." It was very amusing, and I think it'd be very, very funny just like match it up with the player and just annoy the hell out of them. Imagine a warning a minute later. Yeah, like you're like midway through the fight and it's like, "Hey, you're about to be attacked." "Yes, thank you, I noticed." "You're about to be attacked." Yeah, I'm currently fighting them right now." "Hey, you're gonna be attacked." "Shut up." Yeah, that'd be very amusing. Okay, so we already talked. Well, actually, no, we haven't talked about this item yet. Can you name a weapon? I personally wouldn't see a problem with it. Just keep in mind that, in a sense, sentient weapons have personalities, they have backstory, they're quite literally a character by themselves. It's not going to be like you get a weapon named who's like, "My name is Glamdring Orc Cleaver." And then you name it, "All right, I'm gonna call you Bob." That weapon's gonna have an opinion about that. So you can totally try and name a weapon Whether they accept the name is another matter. If you get what I mean. Technically speaking, if you work with the DM, maybe you could name a weapon. I do have a system where I work with some players to basically say, hey, you want to call this weapon the Hot Pocket. You want to call this weapon the Cursed Pendant. But it's definitely one of those things where, like, if it's sentient, you might want to wonder if you want to give it a name that if it doesn't already have one. So, the bag of beans. But if you give them a name they like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's totally up to the DM and by extension, the item. If they like that name, then yeah, sure. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't use it. It's totally acceptable it's a totally acceptable scenario from what I see. All right. So the bag of beans. When you get this bag, yeah, beans. What the fuck? Okay, beans. Inside this beans, you basically roll 3d4 when you first get the beans, and this tells you how many beans are inside the bag. When you take out, when you throw a bean on the ground, it basically, okay, so you take the bean from the bag, plant it in dirt or sand, and then water it. The bean produces an effect 1 minute later from where it was planted. So I take a bean from here, put it in the ground, water it, and something magical happens. On the other hand, if you for some reason decide to just dump out the bag, it basically creates a miniature fireball in the area, and everything in the area takes fire damage. They're not sensu beans, because here's what happens. Let me show you the table of things that happens when you use the bag of beans. You roll a d100, and on a 1, a bunch of toadstool sprouts. If you eat them, you take poison damage and become poisoned for a while. On the other hand, if you roll well, you gain temporary hit points. It basically means you gain like a temporary health shield that you can't add to, you can only take away from. So not that bad. It's like another 50-50 thing. 2 to 10, a geyser erupts and sprouts water, beer, berry juice, tea, vinegar, wine, or oil. So imagine you plant this and whoosh, just a beer fountain erupts. It's the American dream. A fountain of beer. Or if you get tea, then I guess it's the British dream, but hey. It's not that bad. It's pretty nice, actually. 11 to 20, a treant sprouts. There's a 50% chance that the treant is chaotic evil and attacks you. A treant's basically, if you ever played WoW, it's like these living trees that can attack, that can move around. Basically, it's saying you might get an ally, you might get someone else to complicate the battle. 21 to 30, an inanimate, immobile stone statue in your likeness arises. It makes verbal threats against you. You basically, a stone copy of you arises and it just starts insulting you. The thing is, if you leave this, we either fight grunt or be an ally. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, if you leave the statue alone, anybody that comes by, it starts telling everybody, yeah, like, you know Frosty? He's such an asshole. He killed so many people. He burned a town to the ground. And the statue always knows where you are, so it can always tell people, hey, go find him. Go take him out. He's a menace to society. After 24 hours, it becomes inanimate. But for that 24 hours, it's going to be spreading the worst tales about you. The absolute worst. 31 to 40. A campfire arises. I thought you were going to say that I made the Discord icon. I could have. But that takes a true villain now. It's a normal campfire, just with blue flames. That's it. It burns for 24 hours, so if you want to take a long rest, great. Amazing. 41 to 50. Shriekers sprout. They're basically tiny mushrooms that scream as loud as anything. It's basically a mushroom that is a siren. Very annoying. Attracts a lot of things in the area to come find you. 51 to 60. Bright pink toads crawl forth. Whenever a toad is touched, it transforms into a large or smaller creature of the GM's choice. The monster remains for 1 minute, then disappears in a puff of bright pink smoke. So basically, the toad just transforms into something. We don't know what. 61 to 70. A hungry bullet burrows up and attacks. A bullet is basically a mole, but with armor, gigantic, and likes to eat everything. You do not want to run across this thing. It will eat you for lunch. This is not a good thing for you. And after that, like, everything else is mostly weird. And then there's 91 to 99. Bullet. A pyramid with a 60-foot square base bursts upwards. A giant fuck-off pyramid emerges from the ground. Inside is a sarcophagus containing a mummy lord, which is a very, very powerful monster. The pyramid is treated as the mummy lord's lair, and the sarcophagus contains treasure of the GM's choice. So yeah, great, you kill the mummy, perfect. In most cases, using this item means that you're going to be in a lot of trouble now, because there's now a giant pyramid that is permanently there, and now you have to deal with it. Good luck. And last but not least, if you roll a full 100, a giant beanstalk sprouts, leading to a great view, a castle, or a different plane of existence. So there's a whole nother side plot for you to explore. If you use this item, be prepared. Yeah, exactly. Quick labyrinth. Be prepared to do any of these, which means make sure that you've got the pyramid planned out. Make sure you've got where does the beanstalk go, because I guarantee the players are going to want to explore. So if this happens, you're gonna have to let them explore. So good luck. Alchemy jar. This one's fun. It's a jar that you can command it to produce one type of liquid. It can hold, I believe it can hold a maximum amount of different kinds of fluids, but you can also pour out that liquid up to 2 gallons per minute. Let me show you what kind of liquids it can make. Actually, I like that idea. Leave my temple wherever sounds good. Yeah. Like if you want, you can plant the bean and just walk off. Let whoever comes by to deal with it. So these are the liquids that the alchemy jar can make. Acid, it can make 8 ounces. Basic poison, it can make half an ounce. Beer, it's always beer. It's always beer. 4 gallons. Honey, 1 gallon. Of all things, mayonnaise, 2 gallons of it. 1 quart of oil. 2 gallons of vinegar. 8 gallons of fresh water. 12 gallons of salt. I don't know why you need that much salt. Or 1 gallon of wine. All of this makes some kind of sense. Mayonnaise. Why? Why mayonnaise? I didn't even know mayonnaise existed in the world of D&D until I saw this item. But apparently it does. How about blood of any type of creature? No, that's the thing. So the jar is specifically limited to creating these types of liquids. But yeah, mayonnaise. I don't know, maybe the creator of this item really liked mayo. But who knows? Next, the Cloak of Billowing. This is a fun item. Because, let's say you walk into a shop. You look around and just out of curiosity, you cast the spell Detect Magic. And this cloak blinks at you. It tells you, oh, I am magical. And you're like, okay, great, I'll buy this. You go to the shopkeeper, says, oh yeah, like that old cloak, 5 gold for it. And you're like, great, I got a bargain. It's a magical cloak. It has to be something good. Then you put it on, and you realize all this thing does is billows dramatically. So you basically goes, you know, like in that scene where the superhero wearing a cloak stands on top of a mountain and his cloak kind of like just flaps out behind him heroically. That's billow. He goes, you basically flourish with the cloak, and that's all you can do with it. That's all it does. That's all it will ever do. Just boom. This item literally serves no purpose but to fuck with the players. Or if you are you're playing a very egotistical character, then maybe this serves a purpose for you. You can always have a great entrance. You can always walk into a room and just make this thing go, vroom. Look at me. Pose. Personally, I like it because it's just hilarious. All right. So we've talked about, because you gotta slay, yeah. You gotta walk in a room, you gotta make sure that everyone knows you the queen. Trips in a room in style, yeah, exactly. Like, because no matter what, that cloak is billowing. You might be fucking up, but that cloak is gonna billow. Okay, so the portable hole. This one's actually very interesting. So what this does is it's basically a piece of black cloth that looks like a circle and can fold up into a handkerchief size. What you do is you unfold this. Yeah, it's essentially a Looney Tunes item. You put it against a solid surface, and now there's an extra dimensional hole 10 feet deep. The thing is, this doesn't create an opening in the wall. What it does is it just creates a giant 10-foot deep hole. You can get into the hole, and you can close it up, and anybody in that space will remain in there. So it's like a very, very weird bag of holding. The creature can force their way out if they make a DC 10 strength check, or they can stay in there and survive for up to 10 minutes. Here's the thing. The very next item we're going to talk about is the bag of holding. This. I talked about this already in the last video, but basically it's an item which is your gamer inventory, essentially. You can throw whatever you want in there and it'll just exist. The thing is, if you put a portable hole in a bag of holding, or vice versa, or if you put one of each into each other, what happens is it instantly destroys both items and creates a gate to the astral plane, which is not a place that's very easy to navigate or very easy to get out of. This thing then sucks everything within 10 feet of it into the astral plane and closes. There's no coming back. It's a one-way trip. All right, bye, Hassan. Thanks for dropping by. The thing about this portal is somebody weaponized the concept. They specifically put this rule in just so you couldn't fuck around with space and time. You couldn't go, all right, I'm going to stick a bag in here, I'm going to stick a hole in here, and be clever about it. Let me show you a diagram. Hold up. Didn't know it was that easy to return to my place. Oh my god. Portable hole arrow. Somebody took the time to make a goddamn diagram of how this would work. Look at this. Arrowhead of total destruction. There's a small bag of holding here, a portable hole rolled up into a tube, and this is the arrow shaft. You fire the arrow, the tube, upon hitting a target, gets forced inside the bag of holding and creates the portal. You basically created a small-scale nuke with an arrow. What you have to take away from this is, essentially, if it exists, or if someone can think of it, D&D players will find a way to make it work. Yeah. So yeah, that's a cool little feature. That's a cool little thing someone came up with. But here's the thing. There's an opposite to the bag of holding called the bag of devouring. And it's not a bag at all. What it is essentially a mouth. A mouth to a gigantic extra-dimensional creature. If you put anything in the bag, you basically run the chance of it being consumed or just disappearing entirely. He can devour these nuts because when you reach inside the bag, like let's say you thought this was a regular bag of holding, you reach inside it to try and pull out an item. There's a 50% chance that you get pulled into the bag. So you decide to stick your nuts in the bag of devouring, the creature might grab your nuts and drag you in. And here's the thing, it's very, very hard to get back out. And if you start your turn inside the bag, your body is destroyed. It just disappears. The thing eats you. So, very, very useful for getting rid of bodies. Obviously. That's totally what I use it for. Just getting rid of bodies. But yeah, so the thing about this is there's multiple bags of devouring, and they're all connected hypothetically to the same extra-dimensional creature. How do you feel about basically carrying around in your little knapsack something that can devour you and possibly your entire world in one gulp? Choke on that for a little bit. You can use the bag as a shield. So that's the thing. The bag can be pierced or torn. Both the bag of devouring and the bag of holding, if they're hit by a sharp object, it can rip. So if you're willing to risk it, sure, yeah, definitely you can try. You can like try and like open up the bag and like get like an arrow to fly in there to defend yourself. But there's also a pretty damn good chance that the bag just gets ripped and now you just have a regular bag. So you gotta be careful with it. The Spell Jamming Helm. So this is actually released very, very recently, like I think quite literally 2 days ago. Do you know what this does? This essentially lets you pilot a giant flying ship, like we're talking like Treasure Planet, giant flying, sailing, magical ship with your mind. You just need to be able to cast spells. You sit in this chair, you attune to it, and now you can fly one of these babies. You get to fly this. Admittedly, it's very expensive. There's a bunch of different rules to it and a bunch of different mechanics. But you get to fly a magical spaceship. Pretty badass, I would say. The ships are very versatile. They can do a lot of different things. They usually have some different kinds of armaments. But it's so cool. I really want to try and put this in a campaign, but it's a very powerful item, so I have to be very careful about it. Okay, moving on. Sovereign Glue. Let me preface this up by saying this. Do not use this item carelessly. You're not wrong. It is exactly that shape. Hey, Eterno. Yes, tentacles. What about it? This is not a coom jar. I hate my chat sometimes. I hate it. So, this is Sovereign Glue. What this does is it forms a permanent adhesive bond between two objects. You put this glue on something, and they're going to be stuck like that for the rest of their lives. For forever. The only thing that can remove this is a universal solvent or oil of etherealness, which are two very specific magical items. So you can use this to basically glue something to somebody permanently. There was a very, very famous internet campaign where an individual glued a golden dildo to a person's hand. That person is now going to be stuck with that golden dildo to their hand for the rest of their lives until they can cast a wish spell. It's a little bonkers. So if for some reason you just want to make sure that something stays stuck to something else and that they're not taking it off anytime soon, use the Sovereign Glue. I don't want to know what any of you are planning on using this for. Because I can guess. We unicorn? Yeah, I can guess what you all are going to use this for. And I'd be very, very careful about introducing this to your campaign. Because I've known that players can use it in ways you did not expect. So be very careful. Next up. This one's actually very, very simplistic. It is exactly what it looks like. It's a broom of flying. You get to fly. You ride the broom, and you become a cackling witch riding off into the sunset. Woo! Woo! And there you go. Sticks a sword in a sword or a shield on a sword. Yeah, essentially. If you really want to do it that way, yes, you could. I would probably argue that as the DM, it doesn't do anything for you because it throws off the balance of the weapon or the shield, but hey, you do you. So, broom of flying. It can travel 30 feet. It can fly 50 feet. It can carry up to 400 pounds, but over 200 pounds, it gets a little bit slower. And you can basically send it to travel alone. You can call it to you with a single command word. Very useful item. Be very, very, very careful in D&D, giving your players the ability to fly. Because flying in D&D opens up 3D movement. You're no longer just moving along the ground or along a cliff. Now you have the ability to travel high, which means a lot of creatures don't have a way of dealing with that. Be very, very careful as a DM about giving this item to your players. Because there's no guarantee about what's going to happen. You either get blunt damage or slash damage, or if unlucky, both. Yeah, basically you get brained and then slashed by the second blade. That'd be interesting, I'm not going to lie. Alright. The polymorph blade. I have a funny story about this. So, my players had a campaign where, long story short, one of the players managed to get a polymorph blade. Now what this does is, every time you hit something with, every time you make a critical hit with this weapon, the creature must then make a DC 15 wisdom save, or they get polymorphed into something random. Here's what happened. My party was having the fight of their lives against an animated mechanical armor. The armor had weapons, it had rocket launchers, it had guns, it had a flamethrower. This thing normally would have shredded them. The paladin runs up, smashes the armor with the sword, rolls a crit, so rolls a natural 20, and I roll to see what it transforms into. Do you see this first entry here? Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah. Next round, they were fighting a T-Rex. Basically, it went from a very, very, very bad fight to, oh god, this is somewhat bad. Because the T-Rex is actually weaker than the suit of armor, funnily enough. But it still was not a pushover. We go from Gundam to Flintstone? Yeah, essentially. So now my players had to deal with the T-Rex. They somehow won the fight. But it was definitely not easy. It was in fact very difficult from what I remember. Yeah, polymorph blade. It can either fuck you or it can get very, very good for you. Because the thing is, polymorphing doesn't change the mindset of the creature. So if they were already hostile towards you, then they're going to keep being hostile towards you. Can you use it multiple times? Yeah. Like whenever you roll a crit with this weapon, it applies the effect. So hypothetically, you could do this over and over and over, and as long as you keep rolling natural 20s, it'll keep activating. The thing is, this weapon can come as a cursed item, which means, A, you don't want to let go of this weapon. You always want to use this weapon. And additionally, if you roll a 1, you get polymorphed into one of the things on the table. Wait. Hold on. I remember. I told the story wrong. I remember what happened now. Oh God. Okay, no. I told the story wrong. Here's what happened. The sword was cursed when I gave it to the player. He didn't know this. When he attacked, he rolled a natural 1. And he's the one who turned into the T-Rex. I remember that now. I was like, no, the fight was still hard. So because the enemy didn't change, the player did. The player's the one who turned into the T-Rex. So we had Gundam versus T-Rex, and the other players are just on the side going like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my God, I totally misremembered that story wrong. Huh, well, there you go. Yeah, we basically got Pacific Rimmed, essentially. Kaiju versus Jaeger. But yeah, so this blade can be a lot of fun if done correctly. Or if it done incorrectly, it's going to be a lot of laughs. When you turn into a hawk, or an octopus, or a cat in the middle of a fight. It's very, very amusing. Next, the Cloak of Displacement. I just put this item in because, frankly, I think it's a little overpowered. Basically, this item makes it very hard to hit you. Every attack against you is at disadvantage. It means you need to roll twice and take the lower number. Rolling to hit is already hard. Rolling to hit when you're always taking the lower number out of 2 rolls is very hard. And if you have a high enough AC, you're basically never getting hit. A rogue escape? It can be. It can be. I know it's very useful for people like very useful for people like spellcasters or people who are very squishy because it makes them a lot harder to kill. Check memes. Why do I feel like I'm gonna regret this? Why do I feel like I regret this? Why? Why? Hey, Annie. Your friends came over and took a bike that was for free. Lovely. Good to know. Please ignore what you're seeing on screen. This is Levity's work. Please ignore it. Nothing is happening. Nothing sus is on screen at all right now. Everything is normal. Nothing is bad. I hate this timeline. I hate this timeline so much. Livity's person to meme that... Livity? You know what to say, right? You know what to say, right? If no sus, I worry. Okay, fair. But still. Permission granted. No. No permission granted. No. No permission granted. No, this is a very, very bad idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is not going to end well. This is not gonna end well. Horn of Valhalla. I'm gonna ignore whatever's happening in chat. I'm just gonna push on. What this does is you blow this horn. Upon doing so, it summons berserkers, which are basically people who go, charge, hit, murder, hit everything, kill everything. After 1 hour, they return to Valhalla. And once you use this horn, you can't use it again until 7 days have passed. And there's different levels, silver, brass, bronze, and iron, and they all basically just summon more and more berserkers. Here's the thing. Mark! Hey Mark, what's up? How are ya? Here's the thing. In order to use the horn correctly, if you look right here, you'll see there's a requirement. Proficiency with all simple weapons, proficiency with all medium armor, or proficiency with all martial weapons. Oh yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. Good to hear. Welcome to the stream. We're talking about magical items. Whatever's gonna happen in chat right now, Mark, I'm telling you right now, for your own health and safety, ignore. Chat's being very, very sussy right now. Do not listen to them. Don't listen to anything they say. If they tell you to do something, don't do it. Okay, so if you blow the horn and you don't have this specific proficiency, things are going to go very badly for you, because upon blowing the horn, the berserkers you summon get outraged, they get pissed at you, and they attack you instead. Rather than helping you to beat up your enemies, they say, "Hey, this guy ain't worthy of summoning us. Beat him up, kill him." And you're now added probably around 5 to 7 extra enemies to fight you. Chat Reflex Streamer, hey, I am say-so. I am very, very say-so. I am very pure. I have never said a dirty joke or swore or been perverted at all in this stream. Never. Absolutely never. But yes, so when you use this horn, make goddamn well sure that you know how to use the weapons it requires, because if you don't, oh, things are gonna get interesting. You're basically gonna summon a mosh pit on top of you, and the mosh pit's gonna be aimed at you. So be very, very careful when you use this weapon, please, because this is a very, very cool way to lose your character. How does D&D work? Imagination. Essentially, imagination and rolling dice. But the real answer is, it is essentially a role-playing game, so RPG. Any RPG you've ever played in the past, whether that be Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Baldur's Gate. Imagine one of those games, but you have the freedom to do whatever you want. In Mass Effect, you don't need to load your gun and aim it to fire. Now you can load your gun and toss the gun at your enemy if you want. In Dragon Age, you don't need to attack your enemies with the spells. You can blow up the cliff they're underneath and drop the cliff on them. That is D&D. D&D is essentially an RPG that's only limited by your creativity and the DM's rules. That's D&D. So because of that, there's a lot of fucky-wucky things in here. Lot of fucky-wucky things. Like this item. So, whenever someone comes up to you and says, "Why is D&D the way it is?" the answer you make is because a bunch of nerds got together, put all their collective brain power together, and decided, let there be chaos. And chaos reigned. That's D&D. Moving on. The Ring of Spell Storing. This is a pretty cool item. Let's say you're just a big buff barbarian with a giant axe, and you can hit things very, very hard. But unfortunately, you do not have the ability to cast spells, because as a barbarian, you never learned how to cast magic, you never learned the rituals, you never learned what components do I need to cast Fireball. And you're very, very sad about that. What if I told you that there is an item called the Ring of Spell Storing, where your very, very good magician friends can put spells in them, and now you get to run around casting those spells. So basically the way it works is, let's say you go up to your friendly neighborhood wizard. You tell him, hey, can you put 2 fireballs in this ring for me? He'll hold onto the ring, cast his spell, the spell goes into the ring, and at any point in the future, you can aim the ring, point at an enemy, and cast fireball yourself now. You don't need to know how to cast magic. You don't need to know how to do anything beyond using the ring. So, if you like messing around, great! This item is for you. I also just realized that the music has paused and I don't know why. Hold up. Where's my music? There we go. Music is back. Maybe? There we go. Music is back. Whoopsies. I've been talking this entire time without music. Ignore me. Keep a hard night with friends. All right, bye-bye, Eternal. Take care. Have fun. Don't get too drunk. Seriously. Uber. Uber's your friend. Be safe. But yeah, so that's why this item is very, very useful, because it allows classes that don't have the ability to cast spells, all of a sudden now they can unleash magical havoc. Or better yet, if you're a magical class like a warlock that doesn't have a lot of spell slots in the first place, this ring expands your options. Now you have more flexibility, you have more possibilities in your arsenal. The only restriction is it can only contain up to a number of levels of stored spells. So you can only put in, let's say you roll in terms you can only store up to 5 spell levels in here. That means that you can only put in a combined level of spells. So like, let's say a 2nd level spell and a 3rd level spell. That's all you can fit in there. So there are limitations, but you get to cast weapons. You get to throw magical fireballs. Take that person, fling them up into the air. Safest for nerds? Hey, nerds are safe. That's why most of us are alive versus the jocks who go around and do stupid things. I understand, even though I never played or watched an RPG. That is interesting. But hey, if you understand, that's all that matters. But yeah, I think everyone should try D&D at least once, and nothing else to determine if it's not for them, because you might like that level of freedom. You might like that level of creative knowledge that is necessary to make a good D&D game. So, that's the Ring of Spell Storing. Moving on. The Decanter of Endless Water. Oh boy. This item is a special treat. This item is very, very special. What it does is this is a simple drinking flask. Weighs about 2 pounds. You can remove the stopper and out comes water. Water! And at first you think, that's not that impressive, right? Depending on what you say, the water increases. Say you say stream, it just like pours out a number, an amount of fresh water or salt water. Ah! Akito! Hey, Akito! Hello, Raiders! How are you? Welcome, welcome. How's your stream? How's everything? Welcome, Raiders. Wait, hold on. I misspelled that. Hold up. Let me do the shout out first, then I will talk. There we go. Finally got him. Welcome, Raiders. I am JonJon. I am an Abyssal Prince. How are you all? How are you? Did you have a good time in Monster Hunter? What we're doing right now is talking about D&D magical items. We're actually pretty close to the ending of the presentation, but welcome, welcome. Glad you could make it. So the Decanter of Endless Water, depending on what you say, stream, fountain, or geyser, creates different levels of water. You did? It was good? That's good, that's good. Well, feel free to hang out or go rest if you need to. Like, If you need to take a break, go take a break. I appreciate the raid. Thank you very much. So if you say stream, all that comes out is about a gallon of water. Not that bad, not too shabby. Great for if you need to have a source of clean water to drink, or if for some reason you really just want to drown somebody in salt water. Fountain produces 5 gallons of water. So a little bit more. It comes like pouring out. Not too bad, not too shabby. Good way to hydrate a village, or to... I'm trying to imagine what you would do with 5 gallons of salt water. Dry it out and create a lot of salts? Who knows? Geyser. Geyser is the one that my players in my campaign weaponized. Because what happens is it creates 30 gallons of water that gushes forth in a geyser 30 foot wide, 30 foot long and 1 foot wide. So basically like a giant pressurized hose. You can aim this at any creature within 30 feet. And what that happens is, if they are not very strong, the creature gets blown over, takes some damage, gets knocked over, falls prone, and then gets pushed away. This item is a little bit ridiculous if used correctly, because you basically... You know the Power Washer Simulator? This is the Power Washer Simulator. You aim it, and you hose down a person or an object with pressurized water. It's very, very good if used correctly. But my players weaponize this to basically evaporate a flame creature I sent at them, and to also keep knocking over this big bad boss I had planned that just could not roll well. It just kept getting knocked over by this damn weapon. They then lost the item when they made a very, very interesting bargain with a bunch of dwarves, and they didn't get it back. Which, funnily enough, was not planned. They just rolled really badly for it. Ugh. Oh no, there's another meme. What? What? I guess I'll show this one too. Avert your eyes, children. Sussy things are coming. Why am I drowning in the liquid? Like, are you trying to kill me? Frosty, explain yourself. Look at this. Look at this. Why? Too much I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see or hear that. Too much contribution is not what I want to hear. I should not have put this item in the presentation. Should not have shown this item. If I'd known you were all gonna make some coom jar. Yes, lewd. Like I told you, Mark, do not listen to anything chat says. They're all on a horny rampage right now. I swear. Ay. Regardless, moving on. Moving on. Do you want your own exoskeleton, your own Gundam, your own Jaeger? You can have a Jaeger from Pacific Rim in the mighty servant of Leok. I don't know how to pronounce that. I just call it Leok. What this is... I'm ignoring chat right now. I'm ignoring chat and pushing on with the presentation. Ignoring chat. So, what this is a 10-foot tall machine that turns into an animate construct when piloted. You can fit 2 people in here and 1 ton of essentially storage. The 2 creatures have to work together to operate this thing. So you can see what I mean by it's essentially a Jaeger from Pacific Rim. You can then use this thing to go on a goddamn rampage. Why are we calling it the John jar? Why? Why the John Nussy jar? Of all things. You could have named it anything. Why the John Nussy jar? P comment. All around me are familiar faces. Worn out spaces. At least we didn't call it the bottle contribution. You know what? I'll consider that a small blessing. I'll consider that a small blessing. But yes, essentially. Ignoring chat. Ignoring whatever's going on in there. Two people piloting a giant fuck-off set of armor. And the armor can basically move around, destroy things, punch things, kill things. And it's got its own little stat block. Additionally, you can essentially punch things very, very hard. I don't want to read chat. I don't want to read chat. I regret naming the cult that. I regret naming the cult that. Aikido, I am very, very sorry that this is where you have to raid and see all the sus stuff that's happening in chat. I apologize to you and your viewers. You did not deserve this. I promise I'm a completely 100% say-so streamer. This is all chat's fault. They're always like this. Ignore them as I have chosen to ignore them, and all will be okay. I promise you, I am completely wholesome and I'm just surrounded by demons. Okay? Glad we understand each other. Exactly. A say-so streamer surrounded by degens. That's all this is. Yes. Yes, you did make a meme of it. I'm not showing that meme because that meme might actually get me banned. So I'm not showing that meme. Of all things, that meme is not making it in. For the love of God. Anyways, continuing. So you basically get to run around with this giant fuck-off armor with your partner and beat up anything, smash them to bits, and it's very, very hard to kill this thing. Now, if you want, you can put in a self-destruct code. You don't get to learn how when you first learn how to operate this item. You don't know what the self-destruct code is. You can discover it at the GM's discretion. And then what you do is you put in the code. Check bit rate. It has slightly dropped, but it should be okay for right now. Hopefully. The presentation's almost over. Hang in there, bit rate. Like, no frames are dropping yet, so you might just get a little bit of lag. Sorry about that. Closet degen? No. I am completely wholesome. I was never in the closet in the first place. Bitrate's going back up. I apologize if stuff started lagging all of a sudden. Regardless, what happens is this thing then explodes, dealing some massive damage. Dealing massive damage. Like, we're talking 87 points of damage in 100-foot radius around the mechanical armor. So you need to hit this thing, hit the self-destruct, and run for your life, because you only have 3 rounds of combat to get the hell out of dodge. And then, on top of everything, because this thing's basically indestructible, 2d6 days later, so basically about the equivalent of probably about half a week to a week, all of the parts will come raining down from the sky, landing all around you, within 1,000 miles of the explosion. If you bring them all within 5 feet of each other, the pieces reconnect and basically repair the servant to full health. I have proof of JonJon's degeneracy, but I'll wait until he's famous to... You have proof of nothing. You have proof of absolutely nothing, Livity. Nothing you do is proof. You have no blackmail on me. I have been a completely 100% wholesome streamer from my very first day. There is nothing you can blackmail me with. But yeah, so if you want to have your very own Jaeger with the ability to make a bomb out of it, welcome to the mighty servant of Leo K. It's a fun item. It's a very, very fun item. I've never got the chance to run it, but I think it'll be fun. We can make proof simply from clips and art. I don't want it. I don't want the proof. I don't want proof. Also, the Gundam looking egg. Yeah, it is essentially like a giant egg with legs. I'm not gonna blackmail myself. I am completely wholesome. Nothing disturbs the aura of Zen around me. Capiche? Yeah, that's true. If Humpty Dumpty had a villain story, that would actually be very fitting for what this thing looks like. It doesn't even tell you like how it's attached. It kind of just... I think from the way that's designed, it's literally just like the egg body, which is where the pilot sits, and then the arms and legs are kind of like magnetically attached. It's really weird because whenever you introduce science and technology into D&D, things get really weird. Like, remember the Hellfire engine? That's from the same world as this. So these things get kind of crazy. Next up, this one is one of the most powerful items in the game, called it's artifact level, which basically means it's one of the rarest items in the game, called the Teeth of Dalvernar. Here's the thing. This is the description. It's a collection of teeth, each suggestive of wildly different origins and made from various materials. So you might have a dragon's tooth made out of pure copper. You might have a human tooth made out of some black ivory. You might have an orc's tooth made out of wood. The point is that essentially is all these teeth are representation of mythical heroes, heroes of legend. And if you're familiar with Norse mythology, well, Norse and Greek, there is certain tales of heroes planting dragon's teeth to summon warriors. So that's kind of what this is based on. What these do is you can either sow the tooth, which basically means like placing it in the ground, or you can implant them in your own mouth. Here's how they work. When you sow the teeth, you put it in the ground and it burrows into the ground, it vanishes. What then appears is creatures summoned on a table that I'll show you. Versus, you can place the tooth in your mouth, whereupon one of your own teeth falls out and the tooth takes its place. Once this happens, you gain a magical effect, and the tooth cannot be removed until either your death or until the effect is done. But the thing is, your teeth is missing permanently. So if you put that in and one of your molars fell out, that molar is gone. It's not coming back. Here's what that does. The Staring Cats of Uldar summons either 9 cats if you sow it, but if you implant it, you can basically cast the Revivify spell 8 times. If you die, the tooth expends 1 charge and casts Revivify on you. Revivify is essentially resurrection, but short term. You have 1 minute from the time that the person dies to cast Revivify. So, great for if you want to save your party members, or if you want to have like essentially, if you want to make sure that when you go down, you get right back up. So very, very useful. Douglas Surprising Day, which is a human molar. You either summon a regular human being, like super normal. There's no way to express how normal this person is beyond the name, commoner. you literally summon Joe from the hardware store. Or you can put the tooth in your own mouth, so you basically replace one of your teeth with someone else's tooth, and it casts Sanctuary on you, which is a protective spell that lasts for 24 hours, which is very, very good, because I think the original spell only lasts for 1 minute. So, you can choose to have regular Joe from the hardware store, or you can have what is basically divine protective magic cast upon you for 24 hours. Which do you think you're gonna choose? Like, really? Worst time ever to be a farmer. Like, D&D is horrible to regular people. You're living in a world with homicidal demons, devils that will make pacts that will steal your heart, monsters that like to chomp on you for dessert, not even breakfast, dessert. You have people walking around casting magic that can literally reshape the world and change time. And you're just some random dude who's trying to make a living out in the middle of a field. It is a shitty time to be a normal person. And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. Everything that gets summoned is sentient. It's its own individual being. It has its own personality, its own backstory, its own whatever the DM decides to give it. So for a brief moment, you summon... Oh, I guess it's Dougal, essentially. You essentially summon Dougal from somewhere, either from the tooth or whatever. You summon Dougal. Poor Dougal. And he'll probably live for approximately 5 seconds before getting incinerated by a dragon. Because I can't think of any reason you'd use this other as a distraction. Imagine starting to farm, then suddenly summoned by a group of adventurers in a demon castle 10 realms away. Yeah, exactly! Like, regardless of whether this grows into a new human, or if it summons one from nearby, you're fucking over this poor person's life! It's like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, when they bring the whale and the pot of petunias into existence. They're like, oh, I've been alive for 5 seconds. And dead. That's what this is gonna be. That's what this is gonna be. Third, the Golden Age of Dakan, which summons 10 goblins and 1 goblin boss. You basically summon a miniature goblin squad. Useful, kind of useful. The thing is, let me check something. Okay, yeah, the creatures are allies to you, so no matter what, they'll be allies to you. So you get a small goblin army, which is probably perfect for Hugh, because seeing how he was really into goblins last time, he'd probably really love this. The alternative to that, if you implant it into your mouth, is when you're hit by an attack and an ally's within 5 feet of you. This is kind of a dick move, I'm not gonna lie. You can cause your reaction to swerve the attack and hit your friend. And you can't use this again until you finish a short or long rest, but this is permanent. You can just send it to attack. Can they farm? Who, the goblins? I mean, maybe. They might be shit at it, but they can definitely try. They will listen to you. Wait, actually, will they? They're only allies to you, so technically speaking, you can give them an order and they might not listen. But you can ask them if they can farm and they might listen, or they might just say, fuck off, we're just here to kill things. They spawn on a tooth. Like, wherever you put the tooth, if you put it on the ground, it burrows down to the earth, and from that very location is where these things get summoned. So those 10 goblins and that 1 goblin boss will literally spring from the ground right where you put the tooth. Number 4, the Mill Road Murders, a halfling's canine. If you're not aware, halflings are essentially the hobbits of D&D. So you have a halfling's tooth for some reason. If you put this in the ground, you summon 3 green hags in a coven. Now here's what's interesting about this. It specifies in a coven. Green hags are magical creatures, which is literally like everything you can imagine about like witches of the forest or like spellcasters, like these hags that make deals that are definitely bad for you. That's a hag. They're also pretty damn powerful spellcasters. Here's the thing. A hag by itself is a okay spellcaster. Like they can cast, let me see. They can cast very minor spells. But when there's 3 of them, which is very rare because they don't usually get along, when there's 3 green hags and they form a coven, their spellcasting level triples. They go from essentially a level 3 encounter to a level 9. So, you get to summon this and have them work for you. Because, here's the thing, hags don't just cast magic. They can turn invisible, and they can also cast illusions. So I find it very interesting that the item specifies 3 green hags in a coven because it means that they're giving you full access to the complete power of a coven hag, which is insane. Your neighbor? Hey, that's mean. Your neighbor could be a very sweet and very lovely person. Don't insult them like that. So that's what happens if you plant that particular tooth. If you were to put it in your mouth, whenever you damage a target that hasn't taken a turn in this combat, so basically if you get to move before the target, they take an extra 3d10 damage. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. They sawed your bike and... What? What? Why? Why would you just saw someone's bike in half? For what reason? That's just an asshole move. Continuing. Whoop, where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. Doom of the Malfegi, which is a Emerald Lizardfolk's Fang. So Lizardfolk, exactly what it sounds like. They're basically humanoid lizards, big, about the size of a human that stand on hind legs. What they summon if you plant it in the ground is one Lizardfolk Queen, where, you know what, I can just show you what they look like. So this is a regular lizard folk. Reptilian, usually use like very like home put together weapons like scales that are made out of giant turtles and clubs that are made out of specific bones and spines. You yeeted the half into the window. Yeah, you know what, that's fair. That makes sense to me, honestly. And the thing about lizard folk is they can swim underwater, and they're very proficient in ambush combat. A lizard king or queen is essentially the same, a little bit larger, a little more powerful, and they have the ability to use tridents, which can basically skewer you and basically siphon damage away from you. So they can basically heal themselves by beating you the hell up. You get to summon one of those and 4 lizard folk, which is not a bad fighting force. That's a very, very powerful fighting force that can help you. Because remember what I said about D&D. In battle, action economy matters. The more people that are on one side, the more advantage they have because they're making that many more attacks against the smaller targets. So, summoning, not a bad thing. Now, if you implant this, you grow reptilian scales, which increases your AC by +2, so pretty much permanently. However, there's a downside. Every time you take a long rest, essentially every time you go to sleep, you need to succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, which is not small. That's a pretty high save. Or you gain a level of exhaustion. If you aren't aware, exhaustion can stack up to 6 points, and they're pretty brutal. 1 level exhaustion gives you disadvantage on all ability checks. Remember what I said about ability checks? You need those. Those are how you do cool stuff. Disadvantage on those is not a good thing. 2 levels exhaustion, your speed is halved. 3, now all of your attacks and all your saving throws, which means that everything that you need to stay alive is being rolled with 2 dice and taking the lower number. At 4, you just lost half of your health. At 5, you literally cannot move. And at 6, you just die. There's like no save, nothing. You die. And the only way to get rid of exhaustion is by taking a long rest. So you have to be able to sleep uninterrupted for a full night's sleep. And you only get to take off one at a time. So if they keep stacking, you're in trouble. So this one, it's great. The AC is great. But you might permanently have problems with making ability throws the way that this is designed. So keep that in mind. Wait, I didn't see this one before. The Stable Hands Secret. A sweet tasting human canine. All right, let's think about this, because what this does when you plant it is it summons 2 incubi. If you aren't aware of what incubi are, they're basically the male version of succubuses. So they like seducing, technically they like seducing both male and females, but they're basically the male version of succubuses. So when it's called the Stable Hands Secret, but it summons 2 incubi and it tastes sweet. What is that? I know that that's probably some kind of joke. Is it cum? Is the tooth coated in cum? But no, cum does not taste sweet. Cum tastes bitter. So what's causing the tooth to taste sweet? Hold up. We need everyone in chat to jump in on this. What is causing the tooth to taste sweet? Arsenic? Leviti, how do you think I know what cum tastes like? Take a guess. How would you know? Yeah, how? What do you think? Take a wild guess. Regardless, why does the tooth taste sweet? Is there a reason for that? Is it aphrodisiac? You've been drowning in the Genesee. Meh. There's 2 variants of the jar. Hey, wait, is Akito still here? Akito? Are you still here? Yes. Okay, I think we're safe. Don't worry. It's all fine. He still believes I'm a say-so streamer. It's okay. We're all good. But anyways, so theories. Why do we think the tooth is sweet? Because the only, like, is it covered in honey? Is it made out of breast milk? Can you make a tooth out of breast milk? Like if you harden it? That doesn't make any sense. Cause it summons incubi. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, what tastes sweet and is somewhat sexual? Man milk is, we already know what man milk is. I already told you, man milk tastes bitter. So then, okay, I don't know. Okay, so regardless, it's a sweet tasting human canine, and upon planting it, you summon 2 incubi, which, by the ways, are a little terrifying to fight. Because let me show you. Incubi. There's another? Wait. Like lactating? Men can't lactate, can they? As far as I'm aware, men can't lactate. Am I about to discover something I really didn't want to know? Men can lactate. Oh. Okay. I guess I'm learning that today. Wholesome, shut up, Tammy. We are wholesome. We are wholesome here. Just when people are not looking. Okay, so the thing that makes incubi and succubuses dangerous is their charm ability. Basically, anybody within 30 feet, smash. Yeah, you would smash that, wouldn't you, Livity? Here, let me just enlarge it. So there, everyone can see. I mean, the abs. Okay, I can't deny the abs do look damn good. I cannot deny that his abs do look very tight. But the charm ability by Incubi basically lets them control a single humanoid, which is usually the players. And what it lets them do is they can order them to do anything. The only thing that can break them out of the charm is if they're told to commit suicide, or if they take any damage, then they can try repeating the saving throw. But imagine you're just walking along in a dark dungeon. Hey, Arjapal, what's up? Yeah, we're talking about the last magical item. The Teeth Dalvarnar, which you can basically put in the ground and summon things, or put in your mouth and get magical abilities. In this case, we're talking about how one of the teeth summons incubuses. Also, yes, you missed a lot of stuff. Don't ask. Don't ask. Do not inquire. Nothing happened. Don't worry about it. The thing is, so imagine you're walking in a dark dungeon and your wizard's acting kind of weird. You're like, all right, what's going on? Then he turns around and just drops a fireball on all of you. That is what an incubi is capable of. And yeah, sure, he's going to be able to get a chance to break out of it the next time. But the point is that their ability to take complete control over a target is very, very dangerous for the players. Now imagine you have that on your side now, and there's two of them. You have the chance to turn two enemies into your willing slaves. Very, very dangerous. Alternatively, you can put the tooth in your mouth, and now whenever you make a charisma check against a humanoid, you can roll a d10 and add the number rolled to the bonus as a result. The only problem is, if you use this on a person, they're gonna become very, very angry at you and realize what happened and probably gonna try and kill you the next day. So, maybe not a good thing. Okay, good night, Annie. Thank you for staying so long. We're probably gonna wrap up pretty soon, honestly. This is like the last item, so thank you for sticking by. I appreciate it. Good night. And next, how many teeth are there? Oh my god, there's a lot of teeth. Okay, we're gonna move through this really fast because I didn't realize how many there were, and I don't want to hold you guys for too long. Okay, so the dream donkey. I mean, the donkey's dream. Rainbow-colored donkey molar. This summons a goddamn unicorn. There are unicorns in D&D, and you could just summon one for yourself. Alternatively, you can put it in your mouth. It has 3 charges, and you can basically use it to heal people and remove curses. That is actually really nice. It's a really, really nice item. Imagine tweeting the cursed items. What do you mean? Explain. Hold us, are we hostages now? No, I don't worry about it. Also, there is somebody I want to visit, and I'm hoping that they're still streaming, and I'm hoping that I finish in time to go visit them. But anyways, so next. Here's the thing. Mind flayers are like squids. Remember those guys with the long tentacles on their mouths? Yeah, they technically have teeth in like a squid shape where like it's just like a ring of fangs. You can plant that, gain 2 mind flayers who are friendly to you. If you remember, I talked about how mind flayers are like really dangerous. Or you can put it in your mouth, gain telepathy, and cast detect thoughts at will. However, you will constantly have whispers of memories and other people like whispering in your mind the entire time, so you'll have disadvantage on wisdom and perception checks. For me, it's like 424. Jesus. Well, Mark, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming by. Damn. That's impressive. Next, the disappearance of Half Hollow. A Vomirine? What is that? Vomirine. Oh, for like fish or frogs. So a large toad, you can either summon large toads, or you can put it in your mouth and gain the ability to jump really far and really high. Next, Obsidian Human Molar. You can summon a giant octopus, a mage, and a specter. I don't know why. I'm assuming this is a joke that goes over my head. Or you can put it in your mouth, and you now have the ability to summon tentacles. This sounds perfect for me, honestly. You get the ability to just summon tentacles. Tentacles for days. Next, a Vampire Fang. Put this in the ground, you summon a vampire. We already talked about how vampires are a little bit broken, like they're a little bit broken. And you get one as an ally. Or you can put it in your mouth, and now you have the ability to bite someone and suck away their health. But when you're in sunlight, you can't regain health points. So you basically turn into a pseudo vampire. I drink like 4 to 5 energy drinks. Jesus, man. Are you okay? You gonna be okay, man? Next, Nightmares of Kagosh, a twisted beholder tooth, which gives you a beholder. If you put this in, you can cast Eye Bite, which is a very, very high damaging spell. The downside is, whenever you do a long rest, you have to roll a d20, and an aberration chosen by the DM appears within 30 feet of you and attacks. So you can either get a really nice spell, but you'll also get the chance that a monster literally appears out of space and attacks you. Good lord, there's a lot of these. Okay. Depending on what size, yeah, that is true. Depending on the size of it, that could not be too bad. Maybe. That still sounds pretty bad to me, honestly. You think you feel good? Okay, that's good. As long as you're sure that you're feeling okay. 3 Bridges to the Sky, which is a Lapis Lazuli Oni Fang, which sounds really cool, honestly. You plant that, you gain 3 Oni. Oni are basically trolls, but better. They regenerate, they have better weapons, and they hit a lot harder. Or if you put that in your mouth, you gain flying. You can use the tooth to cast the detect magic at will. The downside is, if you're not attuned to the maximum amount of magical items allowed by the rules of D&D, you will gain 1 level exhaustion that cannot be removed until you're fully attuned to magical items. It's pretty bad. 7 to 8 centimeters? Oh, okay, that's not too bad then. Give it a few hours, you'll probably fall asleep. Hopefully. Maybe. I hope you don't have work tomorrow. Or school. The Krauza Dragota, a broken translucent fang, gives you an adult red Draco Lich. Say what? Whoa. Rewind just a second. Oh my fucking god. Okay, so if you have this tooth, which is a broken translucent fang, you plant this in the ground, you summon a undead dragon lich. What? As your ally. What the fuck? Okay, let me show you the stat block for this thing. Look at this thing. It's got a strength of 27. Remember, the maximum for players is 20. Constitution of 25. Intelligence of 16, 13, 21, 10. It can cast spells. It can bite. It has legendary resistance. It has magical resistance. It has frightful presence. It has a fire breath. What the hell is this thing? Maybe 100? This is just broken. This is literally like, you put, like, the boss turns up, he's like, I will slay you all. And you go, bet. And you plant this and summon a giant fuck off dragon. What? What? Where I live, I have till beginning of September till school starts. Ah, gotcha. That's good. So you get a little bit of a break. What the hell? Okay, so the other option is to put the tooth in your mouth. You gain the ability to create undead, which is not that strong. It creates like a skeleton or a zombie. You can't use it until the next dawn. And randomly, a skeleton, zombie, or ghoul appears within 5 miles of you, looking just for people to kill. And then if it kills them, they raise as undead and it spreads out. Remember that zombie we talked about last time? Imagine that, but it keeps happening over and over and over and over. You're literally gonna cover the area with undead. This tooth is broken. Is that one that summons a Tarrasque? So, funny you asked that. Hang on to that question for a little bit. Ashes of the Ages and Eternal Fire, Jade Humanoid Bicuspid. 1 Dao, 1 Jin, 1 Ifriti, and 1 Marid. So if you aren't aware, in D&D, genies are split up into 4 different types of races based on the elements. So fire, water, earth, and wind, I believe. So those are the 4 types there. Or you can put the tooth in your mouth to cast Counterspell at 9th level, which basically guarantees they're going to counter any spell that people cast. However, you can only do this once per essential day. Additionally, if you haven't used this Counterspell, what happens is your hit point maximum goes down by a maximum of 20 points. If it reduces down to 0, you die. So that's it's a great weapon, but with a major defect. Daughters of Bel, a Pit Fiend Fang, you summon a Pit Fiend. Very straightforward. Pit Fiends, they're pretty nasty. They're actually stronger. You remember that Draco Lich I was just talking about and going gaga over? Yeah, this thing's stronger. This thing's a lot stronger. It can literally do everything that the dragon can do, but worse. And it usually comes with an army. This is a bad creature. This is like death incarnate. Or you can put the tooth in your mouth and cast Dominate Monster. And you'll always smell of burning sulfur. Cause why not? Blue Dragon? Yeah, sure, cause why not? Let's have an Ancient Blue Dragon. If you aren't aware, Ancient is the highest tier of Blue Dragon. These are dragons who have lived for centuries. This is also stronger than the Pit Fiend. So this thing can literally wipe out entire nations. This is what you get, yeah, like Tammy said, this is what you get when you piss off your DM. This thing murders entire countries easily, no problems. This thing is a battle for top level players with magical items and legendary artifacts. And since you asked, Tammy, the last Tarrasque, a jagged silver of a Tarrasque tooth. If you don't know, the Tarrasque is essentially one of the apex monsters of D&D. This thing is one of the largest creatures in all of D&D, and it literally eats worlds for a meal. When it's woken up, there's only one in the entire world. When it's woken up, it goes on a rampage, basically scorch earths half of the planet, and then goes back to sleep. You summon this for a maximum of 4 rounds. It does not listen to you. It does not do anything you want. It does its own things for 4 rounds and then vanishes. So if you plant this, you better be ready to just go with it because it's gonna ignore you, and it's one of the most powerful things in the world. Like, to give you an idea, when it attacks, it has a plus 19 to hit. Plus 19. There is no way this thing is not doing damage to you every round. And it can do that 5 times. You are going to die. Like, guaranteed, this thing's going to murder you and then walk around and murder out your rest of your party within probably 2 rounds. So be careful with this. Or you can take the smart decision, put it in your mouth, and now you just become a wrecking ball. You can just destroy a lot of objects and structures. That seems a lot more conductive to me, honestly. Next, Incendix Tooth, an ancient red dragon. So yeah, you remember the blue dragon? Well, now you can have an ancient fuck-off red dragon. Yeah, what you could do is you could plant this and just run like hell. But the thing is, the Tarrasque is gigantic. there's no running from a Tarrasque. It also moves 40 feet per second. 40 feet per round. It's going to catch up to you. The Ancient Red Dragon, basically the fire version of the blue, also can cast magic, can do everything else the blue can do. Also insane. And then there's Dalvarnar's Tooth, the creator of all these teeth himself. And it summons a priest. It summons a regular priest. Any race, any alignment. He's got a challenge rating of 2. I don't know why you would use this. It's like summoning the commoner, but slightly better. Decides to teleport everyone for safety reasons? Yeah, exactly. You're just like, alright, this is my party. We're taking my party with me. Yeah, out of everything that was happening, the Ancient Dragon, the Ancient Dragolich, the Tarrasque, the Pit Fiend. No, you get a priest. For the last one, you get a priest. Alternatively, you can put it in your mouth. And you can quite literally call upon a divine god. You can tell a god, hey, I need help. And you tell the DM what kind of help you want. And the DM decides how the god helps you. Depending on how you use that can be very powerful or utterly useless, depending on how trolly your DM is. But yeah, so that's the last magical item. The Tooth of Dalvarnar. Technically, that's worth the hype if we can talk to God. Yeah, technically, right? Can the priest heal? The priest can heal. That is a thing, actually. Here, let me show you. The priest can cast Cure Wounds, Guiding Bolt, Sanctuary, Lesser Restoration, Spiritual Weapons, Spirit Guardians, Dispel Magic. So yes, it can use Cure Wounds to heal you, but he has to be able to grab onto your shoulder to heal you. So it's not even a ranged heal. It's a doddering old man walks to you, puts a hand on your shoulder, and he heals you for about 8 points of health. So yes, he can heal you, or you can have you can literally talk to God. What are you gonna pick? It's like, yes, my child, you've called upon Bahamut, the divine holy dragon. How can I help you today? Well, Bahamut, we are trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Fuck off. Oh my god, that'd be great. That would be amazing. I could literally see people using this just to troll the god. Dear child, how can I help you today? Well, God, I met a Nigerian prince and he promises to give me 1,000 gold to spend on anything I want. My child, that is called a scam. But God, no one lies to you. Luna! Hello! Hello, Luna! Can't stay, but I wanted to say hi and give you some life energy. Oh. Thank you, Luna. Bye, Luna. Take care. But yeah, so that's the teeth of Dalvarnar, which from the sounds of it, it kind of sounds like it's just some random old human who just gathered a bunch of teeth and decided, I'm just going to make legendary creatures out of it. Yeah, sure, that works. Sounds fun to screw with God. Yeah, I mean, really, like, in all honesty, you get the chance to screw with God, you're definitely taking that chance. You know what I mean? Please never do that again. I'm wearing headphones. I promise to try. I can promise only to try. Imagine getting smited. Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, if I was a god and you tried to talk to me about Nigerian princes and your extended warranty, I would definitely smite you. Thank you for the hydrate. All right, and with that, Don't try to talk while drinking. Don't try to talk while drinking. It's a very, very bad idea. Oh. Thank you for the hydrate. I almost died. Well, trolling God is equal to trolling the DM. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I cannot deny that. That is very, very accurate. But yeah. So, thank you for staying for the majority of this presentation. I hope you were all vastly entertained. I want to see if Kamini is still streaming. Because if she is, I want to go her. Is she? No, she's not rated. Ah! Why you spin me? Why you spin me? Okay, so it looks like the only one streaming is Goon. Goon Slasher. Yeah. Or ooh. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you want to go visit? Do you want to go visit? I think did you misspell that? Ah, there we go. Yeah, you did misspell. Guys, bring me back. Bring me back. People, please. Please bring me back. I have the hiccups. This is not helping. Help! Help! Oh god. Was this necessary? We're about to end the stream. Was this necessary? Help! Help me! Anybody! Get me out of here! Chat is holding me hostage! Get me out! I don't want to show my crotch again. Get out! Get out! Okay, this is slightly remedying things. Can I go back? Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, okay, hold on. Who are we rating? Let me see. Guys. Are you done? You finished? Y'all had fun being jokesters, huh? You quite done? Good. Behave. Raid Kimquat? Who's Kimquat? She's your friend? Sure. Sounds fun to me. Even you, Mark. Even you. Alright, so we're gonna go say hi to Livity's friend. Be nice. Be very... Guys. Be nice. You can't see it, but there is a head pack going on. But be kind. You are forgiven, Mark, because you said sorry. So therefore I forgive you. And only you. Everyone else, you're still in trouble. You're still all very, very bad children. I'm gonna spank you later. Ah! Mark, I just forgave you. The words "I forgive you" just came out of my mouth. You're now added to the spanking list. You're a very, very bad boy. Oh god, hiccups are actually coming. Okay, so let's go raid Kumquat. Livity, is this the right person? Is this the right person? Harder, I mean what? You would be into that. You would be into that. That would absolutely be something you would be into. Regardless, here's the raid message. Prince raid. We're gonna be nice and wholesome for the raid message because I don't want to. This is a new person. I don't want to scare them. So that's the raid message for subs. I really hope that this is the right person because I already typed it in and I'm really, really hoping that it's who Livity recommended. I really hope you didn't misspell it. You know what? Here, hold on. Let me cancel the raid real fast. I almost said kumquat. Is this the right person, Livity? Is this her? Is this her? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, yeah, maybe, please, yes. Okay, cool. Go. I just want to confirm. Just wanted to confirm. Okay. So, we'll try it again. Use that for the raid message for subs, and if you are not a sub, let me do this message for followers. Make it a little bit easier, okay? All right, everyone. Be nice, be kind. Can the Almighty Prince forgive you? You know, I will consider it, okay? I will carefully think about it. And I'll tell you no. I'll tell you no. I tried to forgive you, but you were a bad person. You spanned me. You spanned me. But yeah. So look at she's playing Maple Story. Be nice. Go drop her a follow because she's Livity's friend. Be very, very nice to her. Don't be mean. Don't troll her. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Ooh, yeah. We're gonna do more Cult of the Lamb tomorrow. Do more Cult of the Lamb. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Cult of the Lamb. Time to raise more cultists. Okay? Be good. Be kind. And hey, take some time today, real fast message. Take some time today to go out, be kind to somebody, your mother, your father, your friend, your brother, your sister. Do something nice for someone. Just for today, for me. Okay? Bye. Bye.